Alright guys, welcome to week 6, the second last week of the school year. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions. So this is a little bit different than multiplying and dividing because with adding and subtracting fractions, remember that we have to have common denominators. So first thing we're going to do is rewrite the problem using a common denominator if it doesn't already have one. Then we combine the numerators and keep the common denominator, and then simplify the following remaining expression. All right, so let's look at number 1. First and foremost, do we have common denominators? Okay, 4a squared is equal to 4a squared, so yes, those are common denominators. So we are just going to add the numerators. 13a plus 5a is going to be equal to 18a. And then we just carry over the common denominator. So that's over 4a squared. Okay, and then we reduce if we can. So we're going to reduce the 18 and the 4. Okay, 2 goes into both. So I'm going to divide 18 by 2 and get 9. And 4 by 2 and get 2. And then a over a squared. Okay, there is one more factor of a on the bottom, so I'm going to have one factor of a left on the bottom. So my final answer is 9 over 2a. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2, notice this is subtraction, so we have to be careful here. We do have common denominators. Okay, 16 and 16, so we're just going to subtract. Now, we have to subtract everything in that second term, so we have to be careful here. So we have 9 minus 7, and 9 minus 7 is going to be 2x. Then we have 12 minus 2, and 12 minus 2 is 10. Okay, and that's going to be over 16. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a 2 from the numerator. So this is going to be 2 times x plus 5 all over 16. And then I can reduce the 2 and the 16. So my final answer is just going to be x plus 5 all over 8. Okay, again, I reduced 2 and 16. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. All right, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, they have common denominators, so we'll just combine the numerators. Okay, y squared plus, well, there's nothing to combine there, so it's just going to be y squared. Then 8y plus 2y is 10y. And then I have plus 21. All over, we just carry the denominator over. That's y squared minus 9. Okay, and then I'm going to factor both the top and the bottom and see if I can reduce. So here, what multiplies to give us 21 adds to give us 10. Okay, that is going to be 7 and 3. So that will factor into y plus 7, y plus 3. And then the denominator, that's the difference of two perfect squares. So that's going to be y plus 3, y minus 3. And then we have to see what reduces. Y plus 3, y plus 3. So my final answer is y plus 7 all over y minus 3. All right, I'm going to skip down to the ones that do not have like bases so I can show you how to do those. So I'm going to skip down to number 7 here. Okay, number 7, notice this is a subtraction example and we do not have like bases. We have a 2x and we have a 3x. So we need to ask ourselves, what is each one missing? Well, the 2x is missing a factor of 3 and the 3x is missing a factor of 2. Now you can multiply this side by 2x and this side by 3x and then reduce as needed, but I don't want to multiply by too many things because that's going to cause us to have more to reduce at the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by a factor of 3 because this 2 is missing a factor of 3. And then whatever you multiply on the bottom, you must also multiply on top. Okay, and then on the other side, this one is missing a factor of 2. So multiply both the top and the bottom by 2. Okay, don't forget to do both the top and the bottom. All right, so 3 times 15, that's going to be 45. Over 3 times 2x is 6x. Minus, and then 2 times 16 is 32. All over 3x times 2 is 6x. Okay, so now that we have common denominators, now we can go ahead and carry out the subtraction. So we're going to do 45 minus 32, which should be 13, and then we carry over the denominator. So my final answer is 13 over 6x because nothing else reduces. Move this over. It's kind of covered up there. All right. So let's then move on to number 8. Okay, notice we have in the denominators, we have an a squared and we have an 8a. So we need to ask ourselves, okay, what is this first denominator missing? Okay, it's missing a factor of 8. It has an a, so we're only missing 8. So I'm going to multiply both the top and the bottom by 8. And then here I have an 8a, and what is it missing from this side? One factor of a. So this side, it has 1a, but we need it to be a squared, so we'll multiply it by a. Right, 8 times 4a is 32a. 8 times a squared is 8a squared. This is subtraction again. Right, and then 7 times a is 7a. And 8a times a is 8a squared. Notice I now have common denominator, so I can carry out the subtraction. 32a minus 7a is going to give me 25a. All over 8a squared. Okay, I have one factor of a in the numerator and two factors of a in the denominator. Okay, nothing goes into both 25 and 8, so I will leave those. So my final answer is going to be 25 all over 8a because I reduced both the numerator and the denominator by one factor of a. Okay. All right, let's flip it over to the back. Okay, let's see. I am going to do number 11. Okay, we have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to show you how to do number 11. And the first thing I'm going to have to do here is factor the denominator because I need to see what factor I am missing on the right side. So here I have x squared minus 5 all over what multiplies to give me 6 and adds to give me 5. That's 2 and 3. So it's x plus 2, x plus 3. and then plus 1 over x plus 2. Okay, now I can see this left side here has a factor of x plus 2 and it has a factor of x plus 3. Okay, the right side only has a factor of x plus 2. It's missing a factor of x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply this side by x plus 3, both the top and the bottom. Okay, so here I have x squared minus 5 plus 1 times x plus 3. So I'm going to rewrite it as x squared minus 5 all over x plus 2 times x plus 3. You can go ahead and leave that factored. Plus 1 times x is x, and 1 times 3 is 3. All over x plus 2 times x plus 3. All right, now that I have common denominators, I'm just going to combine my numerator there. There's nothing to combine with x squared. Okay. I'm going to cross out 12 here, and I'm going to move over into this box. So x squared, and then I'm going to have a plus x, and then negative 5 plus 3 is going to be negative 2. All over x plus 2, x plus 3. All right, and then it's good to leave the denominator factored to see if it cancels with any factors in the numerator. So let's go ahead and factor that numerator there. What multiplies to give us negative 2 adds to give us 1. That's positive 2 and negative 1. So this equals x plus 2 times x minus 1. And that's all over x plus 2 times x plus 3. Okay, my x plus 2's will cancel, leaving my final answer of x minus 1 all over x plus 3. Okay. All right, we have about 2.5 minutes left, so I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go ahead and do 13. I'll try not to rush through it too much, but I do have to finish up in the next couple minutes. So looking at w plus 1, I am missing a factor of w minus 7. So I'm going to multiply this side by w minus 7, and then the top by w minus 7. And then over here, I'm missing a factor of w plus 1. So I'll multiply both the bottom and the top by w plus 1. I'm going to want to distribute in the numerator. So 5 times w is 5w. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. And again, I just distributed that factor of w minus 7 to the 5. Okay, let's go ahead and distribute this 8. 8 times w is 8w. 8 times 1 is plus 8. Notice now I have common denominators, so I'm just going to combine my numerators here. 5w plus 8w is going to give me 13w. And negative 35 plus 8 is going to give me a negative 27. Okay, nothing goes into both 13 and 27, so there's nothing to factor and there's nothing to reduce, so that is my final answer. Okay. All right, that is it for this week. If you struggled with these, I can definitely give you some more resources. I only have 15 minutes to do these examples, and definitely come to the live meeting, and I will go over all of the homework questions. Have a great week.